of May.
And of course, that's always brought to you by Chrysler and Jeep Superstores.
5-3 overall. This will be his 12th start. And here we go. The first pitch of the ball game is on the outer edge. A strike on Sean Figgins. 64 degrees our game time temp. Some clouds in the area. There is some rain on the west side of the state, perhaps heading our way, but so far so good. Here's the 0-1. Figgins right back up the middle, and it's into center field. A base hit for the Angels leadoff man. So Figgins, who is a threat to run, quickly gets aboard. And they'll have to keep an eye on him as Bobby Abreu gets ready to stand in.
There's their hitting coach, Mickey Hatcher, and I was looking at the spray charts of all these Angels hitters, and just about every single guy hits the ball all over the ballpark. There's not one guy in their lineup that's really pull happy, and that's a testament to the way that he teaches. And as we just watched there, Figgins went right back up the middle.
And Figgins now is 6 for 10 career against Jackson, so he continues his dominance of the Tigers right-hander. Bobby Abreu batting .295, was 0 for 1 in the ball game last night.
Gerald Laird better get ready to throw once again tonight, because the Angels will be off and running.
Abreu comes into this game tonight having hit .425 career in this ballpark. And you got to figure that every time Bobby comes to Detroit, his eyes must light up, because for some reason he feels good here. He must see the ball well here. One ball and one strike on Abreu. Leadoff single by Figgins, who has 21 steals at first base. He's leaning. And Jackson misses high. Well, Gerald is at 38%, which still leads the American League.
He threw out one runner yesterday, and they were successful on one stolen base against Laird in last night's ball game. The one thing I like about Gerald, even though he knows that this team likes to run a lot, he doesn't call a lot of fastballs. He still threw quite a few breaking balls and changeups with Verlander on the mound last night.
In the air, hit well to right center field. Granderson on his horse, still going back, and Curtis will get it. It's up against the wall. This will score a run. Figgins will come around to score, and Abreu has himself a double, and he continues to swing it here at Comerica Park. Back-to-back hits, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
This ball was absolutely crushed. It's a fastball right down the middle, and he killed it. I thought maybe Granderson had a chance to run it down because he runs down everything in center field, but look how far he had to go. Good base running also by Figgins, who was running from first. He was all the way around that second base bag because he knew even if Granderson caught it, he could retouch the bag and still get back to first base.
Yeah, there had to be an element of not being sure whether or not that ball was going to be caught, because Granderson got a lot closer to it than I thought initially. Here is Vlad Guerrero batting .270.
Take a look at Figgins here. He sees the ball up in the air, and he also knows exactly where Granderson is. He is going to be all the way around the bases. He's going to be around that second base bag, and if Granderson even catches the ball, he knew he could still get back to first base, because it would have been difficult for Granderson to stop on a dime and throw him out at first base. Good base running by Figgins.
The 1-0 is belted in the air, deep but foul down the left field line.
Somebody better tell these Angels this is Edwin Jackson.
That's right.
On the mound tonight.
Supposed to be doing this.
Huh?
Edwin has been outstanding.
Are you kidding me?
Base hit and double, and it's already 1-0.
He may have to pitch aggressively inside to a few of these guys early in the game. They can't be leaning out over the dish.
Guerrero was 0 for 3 last night. And he hits this one on the ground to third. Glad he is out. And the runner holds at second base. One gone. Well, we knew coming in that Mr. Jackson was among the best in terms of earned run average in the American League, and here is proof.
Greinke still leading it, even though he had a hiccup in his ball game last night. It's impressive. 2.30. The Angels have a guy sitting on that list as well, Jared Weaver, who they say has really emerged as a star as a pitcher.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Hunter batting .316, off to a terrific start for Los Angeles.
That's big with nobody out. And a runner on second. Vladimir was not able to move Bobby Abreu along to third. And Jackson, if he makes his pitches, still has a chance of getting out of this with just giving up one run. I don't think Vladimir was really trying to move him to second, though.
No, I don't think so either. I think Vladdy was up there trying to drive him in.
Yeah. And there's some guys on your ball club that you just allow to do that. And I would imagine that him batting third for the Angels and knowing Mike Scioscia the way that we do, he'd rather have Vladimir try to drive him in.
Well, it's 2-0 now on Torrey Hunter. There's a strike right at the knees. Torrey thought it was low.
It's a good pitch by Jackson. Whether it's low or whether it's a strike. Tom Hallion called it a strike, but just for him to show the confidence in throwing a breaking ball there on a 2-0 count, and Torrey might have had a legitimate beat.
Hunter has torn up Tigers pitching this year, 8 for 16 with a couple of homers. Wave and a miss. He's out in front that time. The count is 2-2 on Hunter.
That's what Jackson did so well in Baltimore on his last start. He sped a lot of the Baltimore Orioles hitters' bats up with good firm fastballs in the mid-90s. And then when they started to look for those fastballs, that's when he started to throw some breaking balls, and they were waving and missing.
And Hunter thought about it, but held back, and the count fills 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a pretty firm breaking ball right there. Almost 90 miles an hour.
Kendry Morales waiting on deck for Los Angeles. Torrey Hunter is the owner of 8 Gold Gloves. This year's swinging the bat as well as he ever has. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Down he goes, and Jackson gets the big strikeout. 2 outs.
Another pretty good breaking ball here by Jackson. It just kind of disappears. A very tight spin. And this ball looks like it's a fastball coming out of Jackson's hand. And about right now, you start your swing, you see fastball, and all of a sudden the ball disappears on you and you swing and miss. And that replay brought to you by our good friends at Lincoln Mercury.
So with 2 outs, a chance to strand that runner at second base. Here's Kendry Morales.
And they've got the base open at first. It's 2 outs. You got a right-handed hitting and Rivera in the on-deck circle. And do not give in to Morales here. It's only the first inning, but do not give in to him. If he's going to get a base hit, you make sure he hits a really well-located pitch. You don't mind walking him here.
Morales is hit safely in 9 of 11. And he leads this Angels team with 18 multi-hit games already this year. He's hit 8 home runs, has some power. Former member of the Cuban national team, Kendry Morales. The 1-1. Well, the Tigers came home after a pretty successful road trip.
How about those splits?
Here's the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On this homestand, though, the Tigers' opponent has scored first in 4 of the 5 games, and they have done so here tonight in the RBI double by Abreu. The Tigers without their big bat again tonight. Miguel Cabrera, who we thought probably was going to miss the game, judging on how he was moving last night after his pinch hitting appearance. Bouncing ball right side. Larish on the backhand. Jackson covers. Minimal damage done. So to get a run on 2 hits, leave a man. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. It looks like this. It'll be Josh Anderson leading it off in left, followed by Placido Polanco at second base. Clee Thomas back in the 3 spot. Maglio, the DH, is batting cleanup. Curtis Granderson this season with good numbers, hitting 5th. He'll be followed by Brandon Inge, Jeff Larish, Gerald Laird, and Ramon Santiago rounding out the lineup tonight for Detroit. Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Kelvin Escobar. The Angels get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
It's been a long, long time since Escobar toed big league rubber. As a matter of fact, all the way back in 07, he's had a number of different shoulder ailments. But back in 07, he was tremendous. 18 wins, 3 complete games for the Angels, and he has been a Tiger killer. 8-0 in 20 games against the Tigers with 8 saves. Opponent's batting average of 179. He has been dominant against Detroit.
Josh Anderson had a couple of hits in the ballgame last night, including a triple in the 9th inning. He fouls it straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
If they could somewhat get Escobar somewhat back to what he was able to do in 07. This rotation for Mike Scioscia is really starting to come together.
Still only 33 years old. Calvi out of Venezuela goes 6'1", 230. And he missed inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. I asked Jim Leyland before the game, if you haven't seen a guy in over a year, you just rely on the old reports. And he said, well, we saw tape of his minor league rehab starts, so they have a little bit to go on how he has performed recently. It's a slow roller hit to second where Kendrick gobbles it up. And 1 gone.
Take a look at the rest of the defense that Mike Scioscia has ran out there tonight for the Angels. Rivera and Hunter in the outfield, along with Bobby Abreu. Figgins, is Torres, Kendrick Morales, and Napoli back behind the plate tonight. It was Mathis that caught in the ball game last night.
Well, the numbers back in 07, an 18-game winner with an ERA of less than 3.5 for the Halos.
So the Tigers were able to find some film of Escobar's minor league AAA start, huh?
And that's basically what they're going on tonight. Of course, they have an extensive report on Escobar because they've seen a lot of him. But it's been a while since he's pitched in a big league game. And I guess Mike Scioscia looking for 95 pitches or so out of Escobar tonight. But he has had his dominant seasons in this league. And Polanco is a guy that is just trying to get it going. His average is down to 245.
Yeah, that's unlike Polanco territory, especially since he's been with Detroit.
He has been a 300 hitter since putting on a Tigers uniform. Thought that might have been a little bit low. Tom Hallion is calling that low strike, at least early on tonight. Escobar's 1-2 pitch. Little looper, center field, and that'll drop in. A base hit. Reaching to serve it into center. 1 on and 1 out. Hey, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Get a free regular roast beef sandwich. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at foxsports.com in the Major League Baseball section. Tying run is on now for Detroit. Here's Clee Thomas, the Tigers right fielder. He was hitless in the ball game last night. And Thomas also battling it right now. 0 for his last 15.
Usually you have maybe 1 or 2 guys that's kind of struggling from an offensive standpoint, and the other guys are picking up those 2 that are struggling. But right now, collectively, the ball club, with the exception of Granderson, is probably going through some offensive woes.
Thomas takes high, and the count goes to 2-0. Cleat has hit leadoff this year. He has batted 3rd. They've got him in the 3 spot here in this ball game tonight. Thomas this season has taken 12 walks in 27 games. The 2-0 pitch. Threw it by him at 96.
There doesn't appear to be anything the matter with his right shoulder right now. And they said he was throwing pretty hard in his minor league starts.
The one thing Mike Scioscia can point to, even though his team is 3.5 back coming into play tonight, is that pitching staff. We saw Santana get healthy last night. Snap throw behind the runner. And Polanco got back. And Escobar, if he is able to return with Lackey and with Weaver, a formidable starting rotation. They just need to sort out their bullpen.
Yeah, they do. And I don't see why he will not. He has done that every single year while he's been a manager of the Angels. And I love Ron Washington, Texas manager, but I don't think they're as good as this Anaheim team.
Runner going. The throw is late. And it's ball 4. It didn't matter. So give Thomas a base on balls, and that'll put 2 aboard.
It's not a bad situation there to send the runner. The count's 3-1. And Cleet's one of those guys that can bat leadoff or bat other places, so he knows that he has a job of protecting Polanco. If the ball's a strike, he would have swung at it. It's almost like a hit and run, so to speak.
Well, let's see. Can the Tigers get something rolling early here? They have 2 men on with 1 out, and the number 4 hitter coming up, Maglio Ordonez. Escobar misses outside. Ordonez, Rod, hit a ball last night in the 5th inning that maybe is giving us some signs that he's coming back. He drilled the ball to the gap. I think it was right center last night.
Yeah, the one that Hunter didn't run down.
Right.
It would be good to see. Maglio's one of those guys that obviously has a tremendous track record of doing some very positive things with the bat. This year he has not done those things. And the Tigers most definitely need Maglio to start swinging the bat the way that he has throughout his career if they're going to keep their status as the first team in the Central.
Max 2 out of 4 in the ball game last night. Sends that one foul back out of play.
I thought it was quite interesting as we get a look at his last 21 games. Numbers are pretty good. That John Keating sat Maglio down yesterday, and it was on the pregame today, and Maglio was talking about he and his wife going through surgery and having some family issues might have played into the fact that he just wasn't quite 100% at the ballpark.
Look at that one on the inside part of the bag at first base. This will get 1 run in to tie it. Polanco scores. Maglio has an RBI hit, and to third base goes Thomas. So Ordonez picks up his 21st RBI, and the Tigers quickly tie it up.
And Morales jumps off that bag over at first base, and that's classic Maglio of a couple of years ago, hitting lots of balls in that direction, getting lots of base hits. It's nice to see the Tigers answer with 1 run here in the first inning. But just to finish that story, I mean, and Maglio admitted that he may have allowed some of his off-season issues kind of affect the way he was approaching the game at work, which is not uncommon. These guys are human.
Yeah, it is human nature, no question. Here's Granderson. It's so easy to think, especially when you watch these guys day in and day out, that they come to the ballpark, they're pretty much robots. They put the uniform on, they can go out and play and forget about their regular lives, but that's not always the case. Grandy up to 271, had a hit in the ball game last night.
Tigers have to score this run here.
High towering fly ball center field. Torrey Hunter measures it.
It's going to be close.
Cleet Thomas is going to tag. Here comes a throw. It's offline. He's going to score with ease. On to second goes Maglio. He's in there. Heads up running there by Ordonez.
It's not very often you will see Hunter make a throw like that. He has a very accurate, very strong throwing arm, but he tried to throw that ball all the way on the fly. He missed the cutoff man, which was the first baseman in this situation. And it's a nice read by Maglio as well. It was going to be tough to throw out Cleet Thomas anyway. But Maglio reads it, and by the time Napoli gets it in his glove, and then Maglio is able to get into second base to get himself in the scoring position without a slide.
So Granderson gets it done with his 34th RBI. Tigers have a quick 2-1 lead, and here is Brandon Inge. Inge 0 for 2 last night. Batting at 277 right now. Trying to get that 3rd run of the game home. Escobar's injury was a torn labrum, and that forced him to miss all of last year.
That same injury has ended guys' careers. It's very difficult to come back from shoulder surgery. It's a lot easier to come back from that Tommy John surgery.
Seems like it, doesn't it? A lot more guys seem to do it. Swing and a miss.
Of course, our very own Joe Zumaya came back from a serious shoulder injury as well. And the Tigers didn't quite know what was going to happen as far as that injury was concerned. When they were told about it, it was kind of 50-50 whether he was going to regain his strength.
Inge ahead 2-1. A little bit off the plate. 3 balls and 1 strike on Brandon. Escobar is one of those guys that early on in his career served as a closer. That was in his Toronto Blue Jays days.
He was a good one, too.
A really good one. 3-1 pitch. He lost him. Ball 4. Inge gets a walk. That's the second in the inning for Escobar. Here comes Mike Butcher as Jeff Larish gets ready to stand in. And Butcher will have a quick chat with his starting pitcher. By the way, this game is available in crystal clear, stunning high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It's sponsored by Comcast. See some clouds overhead. It's a little bit overcast. So far, no rain here. Another pleasant night. 64 degrees at game time. So Escobar now will face Jeff Larish, having thrown 23 pitches already. Larish batting .214. And with the injury to Cabrera, Larish is getting some extra at bats here, despite the fact that he's 0 for his last 10. Here's the 1-0. Word on Cabrera, by the way, is maybe tomorrow, but the Tigers have to consider they have a doubleheader coming up on Monday in Chicago. That's going to be a 5-game series, and they need this guy's back. So they are being extra cautious. That's why he's not playing tonight.
I would have to expect that in that doubleheader, he would only be able to play 1 game as well.
I don't think so.
With Cabrera, you want to err on the side of caution. You don't want what he's going through right now to linger the majority of the season, or for him to really pull that hamstring and he'll miss a lot of time by spending time on the disabled list.
Wave and a miss. 2-2. The other factor is that Marcus Thames will be joining the Tigers very soon. So that'll be some thump heading back up from Toledo as Marcus finishes up his rehab.
They got a left-hander pitching for the Angels tomorrow. We may see Marcus in the starting lineup for the Tigers.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. 2-2. The count stays on Jeff Larish. 7th man to bat in this inning. Tigers have taken the lead. RBIs for Ordonez and Granderson. Maglio had that RBI single which plated Polanco. Inge has reached on a walk. It's blocked down there by Napoli, and the count now is going to fill at 3-2, which means the runners will be moving.
You know, really nothing wrong with Escobar's stuff. Fastball is firm at 95. Napoli, outstanding defensive catcher, just as Mathis is, just as their manager Socha was. That's what he demands. But he kind of lacks command right now. Anytime you've missed that much big league time, you're not going to have pinpoint control. And although the stuff is good, his control hasn't been here in the first inning.
Runners going, and it's strike 3 called. Larish is punched out of there. So Escobar gets a big strikeout. Tigers strand 2 but take the lead. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. By Comcast, keep in touch with Dad this Father's Day with Comcast high-speed internet. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Well, the Tigers have taken a 2-1 lead. Sitting in the front row.
Looks like your passes made it tonight.
A couple of good buddies of mine.
That's what you do to your good buddy?
Yeah. Nothing but the best. I have no idea who those guys are, by the way. Strike one on Juan Rivera. His Turris in the Napoli to follow here in the second. .299 average for Juan Rivera. 1 for 4 with an RBI last night.
He's having a pretty good year.
Popped him up. First base side, Larish appears to have room. He's drifting. One gone. Jackson gave up 2 hits to start this game, back-to-back. They got a run, and then he kind of shut the door quickly. Here is Myceres Turris. Turris has hit safely in his last 3. Ibar started it short last night. As Turris tonight.
They say as Turris is a top-notch defender. Does not miss anything.
7 for 14 against Detroit this year. Ground ball, fair ball, picked up by Larish. 2 gone. So that's 5 in a row now retired by Jackson.
Only needed a few pitches to get those 2 outs in this inning, which is always a positive early in games.
Edwin needed just 101 pitches to get through 8 innings in Baltimore in his last start.
Oh, he was lethal against Baltimore. And that Baltimore team was rolling. They had won 5 straight and they were hot.
It's always nice to play in Baltimore early in the season before it gets really, really hot and humid down there. But it was still a warm day. Jackson gave him 8 strong. Fouled back by Mike Napoli, the Angels catcher. That one caught the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion.
Hello, darling. And Gerald Laird will go out and not really say anything to Edwin, but simply give Tom Hallion some time to gather himself. And catchers and umpires take care of one another. Goodness gracious.
Well, you know, we laugh at those foul tips, but honestly, and you can talk to a lot of umpires, when you take enough of those, the cumulative effect on your neck and your back, it can be something to deal with in the future.
There are some guys that are dealing with that very fact right now.
Good pitch, a strike called, 0-2.
And Napoli's got some pop, and really he doesn't try to hit singles. I mean, pretty much when Napoli's standing in that batter's box, he's lifting and separating. He's trying to play long ball. Ooh, where was that?
8 home runs this year for Napoli. Ooh, that was close. That one wasn't. 2-2. Napoli is the better offensive player of the 2 catchers that the Angels will use. We saw Mathis last night, Napoli tonight. Mathis considered the better defensive catcher, but this guy right here does have some pop. In fact, a couple of years ago in Double-A hit 31 home runs. The 2-2. Got him. Down he goes. Jackson with his second strikeout. 1-2-3 inning. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit. Brought to you by Bell Tire. second. Jackson with a 1-2-3 second inning. And here come the Tigers now. Some final scores around the league. Kansas City has defeated Toronto. That was an earlier day game, 6-2.
Kansas City had been scuffling. They needed a win the worst way.
They lost 8 straight, didn't they?
It was quite a few.
Yes, 8 straight.
Get down.
To shallow right. It's going to get down. A base hit right in front of Bobby Abreu.
I guarantee you that's exactly what Laird was saying, too, as he was running down the line. Every now and then you got to talk to those little humpback line drives.
Did you make it a career of talking to your line drives?
When I hit him like that, I'd be talking to it all the way down the line. Get in. Get in.
Chicago beat Cleveland 4-2. And the good news is the closest team to the Tigers, Minnesota, was beaten by Seattle today 2-1.
They played a couple of close ball games in Seattle. And their game last night was decided by 1 run as well, I believe, in extra innings.
It was. So here is Santiago with the leadoff man aboard. Bouncing ball hit to the right side. This might be 2. Kendrick is Turris, not in time. They call Laird out at second base. Came in there hard against his Turris.
Looked like his Turris was pretty much concentrating on just getting 1 here and then trying to get out of the way of Laird, because once he jumped over and then gathered himself, and there was no way that he was going to get Santiago, and he's also getting some fist pumps in the dugout for not allowing the Angels to complete that double play.
Here's Josh Anderson. Bounced out 4-3 back in the first. His speed has created a big hole to the left side of the infield, especially with a runner at first base. His Turris is cheating towards second, but Figgins is in on the grass. One ball, no strikes on Anderson. 2 out of 4 in the ball game last night. Wave and a miss, 1-1. Tigers this year have gotten a .255 batting average from their leadoff hitters. And in the past, usually with Granderson in the leadoff slot for most of the season, that average has been quite a bit higher. And Grandy these days batting in the 5 slot.
I kind of like Grandy in the leadoff spot.
Do you?
I do. I mean, I know out of necessity he's batting 5th now, and probably because he's got some pop and can do some other things. But I think the Tigers play their best baseball when Grandy's leading off. It's my own personal opinion.
Another throw back. Well, Leland was talking about that before the game today, saying that, you know, eventually he might be a good guy to sandwich in between Ordonez and Cabrera when everybody is healthy. But, you know, leading off.
And so many home runs. I mean, how many times has he led off with a home run or a triple? And the Tigers are off and rolling. And no disrespect to Cleat or Anderson or whoever else is led off. But I just kind of like Grandy in that leadoff slot.
2 balls, 1 strike. Escobar gave up 2 runs in the first inning. He walked a couple of batters. He's given up another hit here in the second. Tigers have 3 hits. The 2-1. 2-2 on Josh Anderson.
We told you earlier that Escobar has 5 pitches. He's got a fastball, he's got a curve, he's got a slider, he's got a changeup, and he also has a forkball. And believe it or not, all 5 are good pitches for him.
Runner going, and it's Luke foul.
And there are some guys that have, you know, that many pitches in their arsenal, and they're not all good pitches. But when he was healthy, there are times where he could absolutely dominate you. Apparently Jim's going to be a little bit more aggressive with his running game here today.
Here's the 2-2. Runner goes again, and a shattered bat roller foul. So Anderson will need a new baseball bat as he heads back toward the dugout. Chip that one.
That was that forkball, that tumbler. You could see the tumbling effect on that pitch as it approached home plate.
Santiago draws a throw this time. Ramon has been on the move twice in this at bat for Anderson. We're talking about Escobar and his time with the Blue Jays. He had 38 saves back in 2002 with Toronto in his closing days. Runner holds this time, but it's high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Escobar right now is just one of 5 active guys with 100 career starts and 50 saves. John Smoltz went through that in his career. Outstanding starter and closer.
Dennis Eckersley also did that for a spell.
Another good example.
Yeah. Derek Lowe.
But the numbers he had in 2008, Escobar, 18-game winner, 3.4 ERA, career high in wins. Trying to get back to that form here this year after missing 1 season with a torn labrum. Runner going on 3-2, swung on and missed. Here comes the throw to second. The tag is there. It's in time. And Napoli cuts down Santiago. To strike him out, throw him out. We're headed to the third with the Tigers up by a run. Bernie Harwell, the great voice of the Detroit Tigers here at Comerica Park. I'm sure Ernie's tuned in tonight. He's always watching Tigers baseball.
He can't get away from it.
Here's Mr. Harwell out on the wall out there in right center field along with the other Tiger greats.
You know you're big when you get your name on the wall and they got a statue of you.
Here's Howie Kendrick to lead it off. The Angels bat in the third. Tigers up by a run, 2-1. Jackson is retired 6 straight after that RBI double by Bobby Abreu in the first inning. Angels came out swinging the bats. They put a couple of hits together, got a run, but nothing since. Here's a strike called right at the knees of Kendrick. Howie batting .229, was 1 for 4 last night. He is coming off a terrible month of May. Hit a .193 last month. Line to right field. It's going to stay up long enough for a reaching Cleet Thomas.
You see the Tigers take on the Chicago Cubbies June 23rd through 25th. Tigers are on sale now for all 3 games. 866-66 Tiger or online at tigers.com. Uncle Lou Piniella will be coming to Comerica Park.
Yeah.
Soriano, Zambrano. They're struggling a little bit, but they got a quality team.
Yeah, they're a couple of games over 500 over there in the National League Central.
And their general manager, Jim Hendry, is very close friend with David Dabrowski. And a matter of fact, used to work in the Marlins organization back in the day after leading Creighton to the World Series.
Things hit a mile high into right field.
That would be College World Series.
Thomas hauls it in, and 2 outs. That is 8 straight retired. Now, hey, how about the Tiger pitchers taking BP before the game?
Don't get hurt. Did you know Dontrelle has 8 career home runs?
No, I knew he could hit. I didn't know that many.
Yeah, he's got 8 career home runs. Yeah. The only reason why I know that is because Carlos Zambrano of the Cubs hit one yesterday, which gave him 18. And then they talked about how Dontrelle Willis was a distant second at number 8.
Huh. It's pretty amazing.
I use him as a pinch hitter one of these nights.
You know what? That's not out of the question. Here's the D-train. And that misses high. Bobby Abreu had a double and an RBI back in the first. Of course, when the pitchers hit in interleague play, the big worry and big concern that managers have is that they will pull an oblique or something in terms of one of the side muscles, and they just don't, because they're just not used to swinging the bat
and sliding, running the bases.
True.
They don't ever run the bases. They don't ever slide. It's not an interesting thing for managers. There's no doubt about that.
3-0 pitch. Just to finish up on Mr. Willis, a .234 career hitter. 8 homers and 35 RBIs. Awfully good. 3-1 pitch. That is skied in the air. Shallow left center field. Santiago being called off by Anderson to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning. 9 straight now set down by Edwin Jackson.
While Jackson is on the mound, they've been stingy for him this year. And really, they need to score some runs for everybody.
Well, one way maybe to score some runs is to get this guy going. Polanco had a single and scored a run back in the first. Placido snapped in 0 for 11 with that base hit. The 0-1. Breaking ball is a dandy right in the outside corner. 0-2 on Polanco. Kelvin Escobar making his first start in quite a while. September 29th of 07. Polanco hit by the pitch. We talk about trying to get Polanco going offensively. He's one of a couple of Tigers they would like to see rebound.
Well, you take a look at their numbers this year compared to their numbers between 06 and 08. And there's a striking difference. There's no debate about that.
Maglio already has an RBI in this game. Clete Thomas drew a walk in the first, his 13th walk of the year. Strike one. Fouled away by Clete. No balls, 2 strikes. Clete Thomas just one of a couple of guys getting an opportunity to play a little bit. With the absence of Carlos Guillen, there is still no timetable for Carlos. Trying to recover from that sore shoulder. Wave and a miss, and down goes Thomas. One gone. Third strikeout now for Escobar. It's going to bring up Ordonez. Well, so far I think the Angels, in watching Escobar, have to believe that his stuff is there.
96 with the fastball. That's pretty impressive. They were kind of encouraged by what he did in spring training this year. Yeah, but then he had a setback during the course of spring training, and they shut him down. And then he went out and made a couple rehab starts.
Runner going with a huge jump, and Polanco has an easy steal.
Well, that's the third runner that we have seen take off in this game, and that Jim has given the sign to. Apparently, they feel like they can exploit the weakness of Escobar, who does not do a very good job at getting the ball to Napoli, which would allow him to throw out base runners, although he did get Santiago last half inning. But you're right, that was a huge jump by Polly.
Napoli had no chance on that throw, and Placido has his first steal of the year. Ordonez trying to knock him in now.
He may crowd Maglio this time and make him pull the ball. I think Maglio has 3 hits in this series, 1 to right center field, and the other 2 have gone to right field. The 2 base hits to right field have both driven in runs. So if you're the opposing pitcher and you've watched that, you may want to crowd a guy on the inside part of the plate to see if he can get his hands through there and pull the ball.
One ball, 1 strike. Ground ball hits slowly to the shortstop is Turris. This will be out number 2, and Polanco gets to third. He's going to take a 2-out knock now from Curtis Granderson. Stolen base, by the way, for Polanco is the 30th for the Tigers as a team. And to kind of compare these two teams, the Angels have more than double that, 64. And they're second in the league. Here's Granderson. Sac fly back in the first inning, knocking in a run. Escobar from the windup now with a man at third.
They must have some really fast guys on Tampa's team. I know Crawford's absolutely has blazing speed, but they got 90+ steals this year as a team.
Well, Crawford's got a good portion of those, at least a third of those.
They've got Upton, of course, their center fielder. But beyond that,
Bartlett's stolen 14.
well, he's had a terrific year. Well, you know, Joe Madden's cut from the same cloth as Mike Scioscia. He grew up in the Angels organization where they preach base running. They go first to third, better than anybody in baseball, and they've done that for a number of years. And I'm sure that Joe Madden has adopted the theory of Mike Scioscia at putting pressure on the opposition.
Well, you saw the 64 steals there for the Angels. The Tigers had 63 all of last season. There's your difference in personnel and philosophy. 3-0 pitch is a walk. So Granderson is on. It's a third walk now for Escobar. Put him at first and third for Brandon Inge. Tigers just need one of those big breakout innings. Inge had a walk back in the first. Been pretty good with men in scoring position this year. 321. A little bit low and outside. 1-0 on Brandon. Escobar spent the first 7 years of his career with Toronto. The DL, though, has not been his friend. He's been on the disabled list 5 separate times in his career. He's had an assortment of shoulder and elbow injuries. But when he has been healthy, he's been dynamite. Runner goes. Granderson on the move. Here comes Napoli's throw. Way late. Stolen base for Curtis. Second steal in the inning for the Tigers.
It was almost like Mike Scioscia knew at some point in time that Granderson was going to steal. They were kind of conceding the stolen base here because you look at the second baseman. He cuts over in front of the bag, not really even thinking about putting a tag on Granderson, but they were hoping that Polanco was going to try to come home and Kendrick was going to try to get him at home plate. They weren't really concerned about Granderson, or else he would have stayed closer to the bag there.
Here's the 1-1. In the air to center field. Hunter is on the run, still going back, and Torrey will run this one down. So the Tigers get a couple of runners, leave a couple of runners, and it's still 2-1 Detroit at the end of 3. That's your Aflac trivia question tonight. Let's stew on that for a while. That is not Jack Morris, but
Morris didn't give up many.
They facsimile.
And if you did hit one off of him, next time you came up, he was going to buzz your chin.
You're going to take a seat?
He was mean. Jack was mean. And he was a tremendous competitor.
Here's Vlad Guerrero to lead it off against Edwin Jackson. 4th inning on tap here at the ballpark. Big swing by Vladimir.
Vladimir Guerrero has had 11 straight seasons where he has hit over 300 and hit at least 25 home runs. 11 in a row.
He was able to get to 300 last year based on a spectacular September in which he hit 412.
He is only the second player in the history of the game to do that. Lou Gehrig is the other.
That's in the air to right field, going deep to the corner. Thomas to the warning track. 1 out.
Is he a Hall of Famer for you, Vladdy?
We talk about this every time. You know, I think he's really close.
He's close, borderline right now.
I think he's really close.
11 straight seasons, 300 or better, 25 home runs or more.
Would you say he has been one of the dominant players in this era?
Yes.
Because that's what everybody seems to talk about.
Absolutely.
When they evaluate Hall of Famers.
Offensively, and then there was a time where he played some tremendous right field too. Strong arm, he could run, he could steal bases. He never got to 40-40. He almost got to 40-40, I believe, one year. I think he was either one stolen base shy a few years ago.
Meanwhile, Edwin Jackson has gotten 10 straight. Last 4 have been in the air. Torrey Hunter, the batter, he struck out back in the first. Drilled deep center field. Granderson on his horse, not going to get it. One hop against the wall. Hunter going to second, and he will pull in with a double.
That's why Torrey Hunter is hitting 300 this year. He really is not a career 300 hitter, but he has really learned how to go the opposite way. And I was talking about Mickey Hatcher earlier, their hitting coach, and you look at all their team's spray charts, there's not one guy that's really pull happy. They all use the entire baseball field. And this is the second time in this series where we've seen Granderson get on his horse and not get close in center field. That ball was crushed.
Home run in some yards.
A lot of them.
Hunter now is 9 for 18 against the Detroit pitching staff this year. I would think that's 500 according to my calculations. Here's Kendry Morales. Runner bluffing.
Just to finish up on Vladdy, back in 2002 when he was still with the Montreal Expos, he hit 39 home runs and stole 40 bases. So he was almost a 40-40 guy.
He missed it by 1 home run. Well, he picked up his 2000th career hit last year against the Tigers. So he got over 2,000 in that category. Consistency. That is definitely a hallmark. One ball, no strikes on Kendry Morales. Low and inside, 2-0. Jackson had a string of 10 straight, retired, then Hunter doubled. Morales is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Pulled on the ground again to first base. Larish will handle this one. Hunter goes to third. Tying run just 90 feet away now with 2 gone. And here's a reminder to get interactive with other Tigers fans. Receive updates from Fox Sports Detroit on Facebook and Twitter. Easy and free. Simply search Fox Sports Detroit on either site. Become part of our growing social network community. That is Fox Sports Detroit on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter away. Here's Juan Rivera. He popped up back in the second. Trying to knock in the tying run here with 2 outs in the fourth. Tigers got 2 in the first after the Angels scored 1 at the top of the inning. Ball 1.
Now you can tell that Rivera, on every single pitch that he gets from whichever pitcher it is, he's looking for something inside. He clears that left foot out of the way. His hips start to open up early, which allows him not to really get to the ball outside. But if you go inside, he can get to that one.
Laird with an excellent job there in the breaking ball, keeping that runner at third. 2-0. Rivera a couple of seasons ago in winter ball broke his leg.
That was after having a great season for the Angels, too.
Missed most of the 07 season because of that. Former Yankees player Juan Rivera. There's the 2-0. He's swinging, popped him up. Left side of the infield. Brandon Inge coming in under it to retire the side. So nothing comes to the 1-out double. They strand a man. We played 3.5. 2-1 Detroit.
That's pretty impressive, man.
You are our Tigers. That's really impressive. Nice artwork.
That's the I think that's the biggest one we've seen so far.
I would have to agree.
And nicely done. Put a little effort into that.
Here's Jeff Larish leading it off as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Larish, Laird, and Santiago. You didn't pay those people, did you?
Well, you got me. You got me.
It took a while to answer.
I can't sneak anything by you these days.
Finally admitted it. 2-0 on Larish. Jeff came up in a big spot back in the first, struck out with a couple of runners on. Drives this one in the air to right center field. Hunter along with Abreu converging. Torrey makes the catch. One gone. Aflac trivia question tonight. There's the Duck. The Duck wants to know what former Tiger hit his 300th career home run off Jack Morris on this date in 1979. It's Willie Horton. There it goes at the Kingdom. Remember that beautiful ballpark?
Yes. I remember the Kingdom.
Number 300 for Willie.
That's a lot of taters. A lot of home runs. And when you hit that many, partner, they give you a statue.
Well, Willie has meant so much to the city, both on the field and off. The 1-0 pitch is a ball up high. 2-0 now on Gerald Laird.
I believe Willie's going to join us here tonight, isn't he?
He is. Real shortly. 325 home runs. That's where he ended up. 262 of those in a Tigers uniform.
I've told the story on occasion on this broadcast when I was just a young kid playing minor league baseball back in 1981 and in the Pacific Coast League in AAA. And Willie was still kind of hanging on. He didn't want to say goodbye to the game. He was a veteran player. He was playing in Portland. And I learned a lot from Willie, even though he was on another team. Talked to him a lot during batting practice, and he was one of those guys that always had time for the younger players.
3-1 pitch is a strike.
And he's continued to do that with the Tigers organization. On many days when you go to spring training, Willie's always hanging out on the minor league side. He's not on the major league side. He loves going over there hanging out with the kids.
Did you see that also Larry Herndon was one of the guys that helped you out too?
He was a tremendous mentor in '84 when I spent 2 months with the ball club at the beginning of the season. He was great during the course of spring training. There's usually one guy on every team, and the veteran players, that will take the younger players kind of under their wing and kind of show them the ropes of what to do in the big leagues, what to do, what not to do, get your rest, eat your breakfast, all those different things.
Abreu back on this one, just about to the warning track, and Laird is out, 2 gone. Well, Willie's got a lot of knowledge to pass on, that is for certain. He's happy to do so. For Santiago, Tigers have not been able to do anything against Escobar after getting the 2 in the first, although they have threatened. They've stolen a couple of bases tonight. Santiago is 0 for 1, reaching out a fielder's choice in the second. There's a strike on the outer edge. Make it 0-2 on Ramon. Barely stays alive. Santiago had a big month of May, batted .349 last month. Getting some time at short tonight. Everett getting the evening off. Escobar's 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. They will have to throw down to complete it. And that is that. So the Tigers go 1-2-3. When we come back, we'll be joined by the great Willie Horton. It's a 2-1 Tigers lead. By the way, Willie, you were the trivia question tonight. Your 300th home run hit off Jack Morris on this date back in '79 at the Kingdome. And there's a story behind that, because evidently you almost hit it the night before, but you hit a speaker, correct, in the Kingdome?
Yes, you're telling my age, though, now.
Oh, no. That's all right.
Yeah, I hit one the night before. I hit the center field speaker off of John Hiller. And funny thing about it, I was trotting, though, it was a home run, and then I seen the ball bouncing and started throwing the ball, and run back and crawl to first base.
On your hands?
On my hands.
Now, I got one question for you. Did Jack Morris buzz your tower after you hit that 300 home run off him? Because Jack was mean.
You know, I'll tell you the story behind it. I told my wife that I got on that night. I said, tomorrow I'm going to get it off of Jack. I did, honest to God. I said, well, I'm going to set Jack up for his knockout pitch. His best pitch knocked me out was slider. I said, but if it don't break, you just come up to Sweet Hospital, because he done got me here. But it was funny. I said, to be sure you be on time.
We're chatting with Willie Horton, who was the answer to our trivia question tonight, hitting his 300th home run on this date back in '79 against or off of Jack Morris, I should say, with the Seattle Mariners. 2-1 is the count on the leadoff man. Meiser is Turris, and there's a strike.
You know, Willie, I was telling the story just a moment ago about when we first met back in 1981 when you were playing for the Portland Beavers and I was playing for Canada, Edmonton, what team? Trappers at the time.
Exactly.
And how you just kind of gravitated to the young people and the young players and just kind of taught us how to go about our business on a day-to-day basis, what to do, what not to do. And I really appreciate that. But you did that with everybody.
Well, that was just my way of giving back, and I was very fortunate. When I came up, I had the Gates Brown, the Norm Cash, the K-Line, and Billy Bruton, these type of guys. But did that to me, and it just what I was doing is about giving it back. And I guess it's your makeup, and it all started at home. I come from a large family, and I always believe in family, and I took this game as a family of the fans, and the importance to players, and I try to make them get into it as a family type atmosphere so they understand and appreciate their career. Same thing I told you. I remember Bates.
Yep.
I said, you guys got to appreciate what's in these stands, and y'all get to have a good career.
Mike Napoli is the batter here, chatting with Willie Horton as the Tigers lead it in the 5th inning, 2-1. Edwin Jackson has looked good in this ball game tonight. The 1-0 pitch is outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, when you talk about young players, Willie, is that part of your message? Because sometimes when you're a young kid, you're so worried about getting to the big leagues and staying in the big leagues, and maybe you don't appreciate or enjoy what you have when you do finally get here.
I think the important thing, getting here and enjoying it, keeping that little boy inside if you're going. But I think you add pressure to you when you lose that.
Yeah.
You got to keep that little kid, although you're adult running and adult age, but you always, until the time I retire, I was still enjoying the game.
2 gone now for Howie Kendrick.
Well, what's your take on this ball club, Willie? 2 months in now. It's a first-place club, 2 games up, but clearly not clicking on all cylinders. What do you see?
Well, I like what I see. We've been in and out the last week or so, but I like our character of our team. You know, the character is important. Each guy that we not say, every guy on that team, I've been noticed that they know what their roles are, and that's important.
So a 1-2-3 inning. Willie, can you spend another half inning with us?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, we'll be back with more of Willie Horton. Meanwhile, Edwin Jackson cruising along. Willie Horton in the middle, and we're chatting with Willie tonight, the Tiger great. Willie, you were just talking about that statue of you here at the ballpark. Every time you see it, just gives you chills.
Every day I look at it, and I tell you, I'm very fortunate. I usually go out there about every other game with 2 or 3 people take pictures. It's a great, people want to go out and take pictures with their family, but I still get cold chills. But I'm very fortunate I'm alive, and I'm seeing a statue of myself.
Well, the Tigers coming to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-1 is our score. Tigers in the lead. They have the top of the order up. Josh Anderson, who shows bunt and takes a strike.
Now, Willie, I know you've told this story before, but most players in the big leagues nowadays use bats that probably weigh 32 ounces and they're 34 inches long. What size bat did you use, and why, if the bat was really heavy?
Well, I went to a heavier bat, I think.
How heavy?
38, 40 ounce. And
38 ounces.
38. I ended up, my last year playing with Seattle, I used a 40. And what they did, they helped me use the whole field. When I came up as a young man, I remember they taking the bat from me. And I was scared to ask the trainer Hummer what kind of bat they was ordering me, or John Hand. You know, I was pulling a lot of balls over here when using the field. And it took me about 4 years to ask what kind of weight they were ordering. John Hand, I think Hummer said, John Hand was telling me 37, 38 ounce. And that's how I got into that. But then after that, I started putting a bat together that I really liked, where the weight would distribute, but I used the whole field.
What'd you do to keep strong? Pull cars? Unbelievable. That's a big bat.
No, we used to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to work. But, you know, it's just something that not said a heavy bat is good for everybody. Everybody should get something feel good to what they like. A light bat. Gates Brown used a 32, 31 ounce, you know. And he was one of the quality hitters I've seen been around, natural hitter I've been around, you know. But I think each person should get what he feel good to his hand. But a heavy bat helped me quite now. I remember last year when Cabral was kind of struggling, and he started playing around my bat down in the batting cage, and he started coming around, started hitting, going into the second month.
Really?
Yeah, he started using the whole field.
Yeah.
Apparently they're going to pitch Polanco hard inside because Escobar hit him last time up, and he almost hit him again.
Polanco in this game hit by a pitch and a single, plus a run scored. Pulls that one foul, third base side. You're talking about all the young kids. Willie, do you have any input on the draft? The draft is right around the corner with all the new young kids coming into the organization.
Well, I tell you, you got to give all the respect to the scout, the work they put into it. I'm learning that throughout the year, all the work they put into it. I've been in and out down here. I haven't been full time down. My wife's been sick a couple of days, and but I've been coming in on the tail end, and you know, I respect all the work they put in to come up with the right pitch.
Base hit for Polanco.
Is your wife doing better now?
Yeah, she's doing a lot better. Doing a lot better. You know, it's the first time in a long time that big, strong man, I got scared. I sat there, what else I'm going to do? But, you know, it was a wake-up call to me and kind of make me kind of appreciate who's next to me every night when I go to bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gloria is your wife's name, correct?
Yes, yes.
Here's Cleat Thomas. Have you been surprised with the way the Tigers have pitched this year? They've been one of the best in the American League so far.
Well, I kind of saw that coming about the tail end of spring training, and I saw the guy who got me impressed with them. I think they're feeding off each other. They talked about how the pitch hitter. I watch around the clubhouse how they talk about different game situations, stuff like that. And I had a good feeling in spring training at about the last 2 weeks of spring training. But, you know, I think each pitcher set a tone for the next guy. They feed off each other, which would make your defense a lot better out when you're playing outfield and infield.
There's probably nothing worse when you were playing than a pitcher that was slow or struggling on a hot day, was there?
Well, you always look up, you get a ball your way. But, you know, when you go out there and be aggressive, that's when you make good plays in the outfield and you learn. And you stays in the game. I don't think people say you get bored in the outfield, but you're in the game, you should never get bored. If the game is going according, keeping the game aggressive, you should be always moving. And that's what it's important about the pitchers throwing a lot of strikes.
Lee Thomas batting with 1 on and 1 out, chatting with Willie Horton, Tiger great, in our booth here tonight. Escobar ahead 0-2 on Thomas.
You know, Willie, we were talking about Polanco earlier in the ball game, who's probably about 50 points down from his career average with the Tigers. Do you think he's trying too hard in the free agent year, or he's a guy that when you look up when the leaves turn brown, he's going to be right where he should be numbers wise?
I think both. I think he's a type of guy. I see him getting back, doing what he's been doing in the past. Beginning of the season, he wasn't moving around in the box. You know, I always called him a good boxer. He always moved, not in the same spot all the time. In the last few weeks, I saw him start doing that, and he started making better contact. But he's a pure big league professional hitter, and I think he's going to be right there at the end.
Is that something that you guys had to deal with when you played? I don't want to say that you're old, because that's not the case here, but when you were coming up and playing, you guys really didn't think about free agency and different things like that. You guys pretty much looked at it year to year, didn't you?
Well, you just go out and play and hope that you have a good year, and hope that, well, I did at the beginning of my career, you go and hope that you do well so you go play winter ball, you know, and stuff like that.
I did
that was our incentive then.
You don't want to get that real job in the offseason.
Exactly. But I think it's a lot of, you know, way the game is structured now with free agent and corporate structure. It's maybe a lot of unnecessary pressure guys put on themselves, but they got to learn how to avoid doing that and try to keep that little boy going in them and to have fun, but keep himself, as a professional player, go out and do the job. But when you go out there and put pressure on yourself, you forget the fans. You all perform for the fans, and I think that's what when you get into that frame of mind that you forget you're performing, that's when things don't click for you.
1 ball and no strikes on Maglio Ordonez. Really, you talk about the fans, and obviously the economy here in Michigan and Detroit is struggling right now, and you've been a lifelong Detroiter. What is your take on this state, this city right now, trying to bounce back?
It's tough. That's when a sports team is very important to this state. Tigers win is something this year. Look like I feel good about this year. It look like when we have some kind of depression as a city, as a state, the team look like they step up, and as the fans pitch in and kind of help the political arena kind of come together, and a lot of people come together, and we always work ourselves out of these things, and that's what I enjoy about the sports team, not only the Tiger, the Red Wings, the Pistons, and football. It always kept our people in the state together.
Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
But you can walk around. I walked a lot of time in the game. I walked around the ballpark. Last week I walked around the ballpark when we got back. And I try to pick up people ears. And people still got high beat about our team and about what's going on for us, the economic life, what's going on with our problem. But I think there's some light out there at the end of the tunnel and the way people looking at it right now.
Maglio takes it up high, and the count goes to 3-1. Tigers ahead 2-1 as we play here in the 5th inning. Ordonez in this one with an RBI single, 1 for 2.
Willie, what would you look for in this situation? 3-1, 2 outs.
3-1, look for 1 pitch.
Fastball
where I like it, and if it's not there, I spit at it. And you have confidence being a good 2-strike hitter.
Runner going, and it is down low, ball 4.
I talked to Mag the last few days, and it's just like him. He couldn't get out of the box, move around. Now he's moving around. He got closer. Sometimes we talk too much mechanics. Sometimes hurt people. And I said he about 5 inches back and get towards the pitcher and get more straight up, his type of stance. And I like what I saw in the last 3 or 4 days driving the ball. And that's what Mac been working on in the same thing. And I know sometimes it helps to hear it from other people. And I saw that even Tom up in Mr. Ellis' speech a while ago. So I see they got on top of the plate and hitting the ball. And that's good. And because Mag was a big plus for our team. He got to hit, and he makes things work for our team. Curtis and the rest of them, they got to feed off each other.
We have heard over the last couple of years that Granderson would be a middle-of-the-order guy at some point in time. Did you think it would come this soon?
Well, I don't know. I still, in my mind, ain't there yet. But, I look at him as a two-way type hitter. If you remind me of more like a Bobby Bonds. I've seen Bobby did him shift a certain time. I've seen that he's more productive as the leadoff hitter when he was Cleveland and Texas, because he was like the hand of the clock. He makes things happen. Right. And that's what Curtis is. He's a killer of this team. He makes things click. So right now he's searching for that, but he got the natural ability and got the power. I've seen him develop over the last few years to hit in them slots also.
How high is his ceiling, do you think, Curtis?
This young man, the way he worked, who can say? It's what you ever come out of, because he goes by his business, know his job, know his responsibility, and he's put his time in. So, I picked him and Sizemore my best in the last 8 years.
Really?
Yeah, them my 2 favorite centers in baseball. Because you can't take nothing from either one of them. Match them up. Make balls catch it that you don't think they're going to catch. It reminds me so much of Mickey Stanley in the outfield. It's unbelievable.
Well, and you mentioned about enjoying what you have and appreciating what you have, and it seems like Curtis does just that. He appreciates what he has at this level. Exactly.
And he comes from a good crock. His mom and dad is good crock of people. He comes from that. He comes from a good, solid family. He came from a good coaching college that had good coaches there. And Curtis' mind had made up what he wanted to do in life. The important thing, he's that old throwback.
Yeah,
he got time.
I agree.
He got time for people, and that's important.
And right now, enjoying a 9-game hitting streak. He has an RBI, a walk, and a steal tonight. Tigers trying to add on to this 2-1 lead. Curtis, a nice count here, 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2 now on Granderson.
That's the pitch I was talking about. 3-1. That took something off the ball. That's when you set your sight high. If you don't get it, have confidence you're a good two-strike hitter. And if he grow in that area, you're going to see something.
Brandon Inge waiting on deck. Crowd starting to get into it now. Tigers have had some opportunities to pad their lead. The runners will be moving here on 3-2 when it's on the ground to the right side. Backhanding is Morales. Escobar covers to retire the side. Willie, it's always a pleasure. We appreciate you stopping up. Take care.
My two favorites.
All right. Be healthy.
Thank you. Thank you, Willie.
The great Willie Horton. Tigers still leading in this one by a score of 2-1. Stores and by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park, as the Tigers continue to lead in this one. 2-1 is our score, and Edwin Jackson with the slimmest of margins to work with all night long, facing Sean Figgins and Bobby Abreu and Vlad Guerrero. Top three hitters in Mike Scioscia's lineup. The Tigers have out-hit the Halos tonight, 4-3. The 0-1 pitch is slapped foul. 0-2 now on Sean Figgins. One for two tonight. Singled to start the game, but eventually scored on the double by Bobby Abreu. Jackson has retired 15 of 16. Way high to Figgins, 1-2. You like to keep him off the bases. He has 21 steals, good for third in the American League. The Angels made a really good trade several years ago to get Figgins from the Colorado Rockies organization. They gave up a guy that used to play for the Tigers briefly, Kamara Barti.
That was a good deal for the Angels.
One-sided.
Yeah, Figgins is the kind of player that they like in their organization.
Slap to left center, base hit. So the speedy Figgins is aboard. He thought about it. It got away from Anderson briefly.
Hey fans, party suites for select Tigers home games in June and July are on sale now and include a $300 food credit. Tickets start as low as $85 per person with a minimum of 20 people. For tickets, call 313-471-BALL or log on to Tigers.com for Party Suites Plus. I guess the plus would be that $300 voucher for food.
Yeah, that's a good plus. I can get you a lot of, what do you call them, groceries?
Groceries.
Here's Abreu.
And beverages.
RBI double for Bobby Abreu. And hit by Figgins, the 4th of the night for the Angels, and they have as many as the Tigers now.
Well, this is about the time of the game where the Angels will start to put some pressure on you from a running standpoint. And no doubt Jackson will pay very close attention to Figgins. Jim Leland handles the running game for his ball club, just as Mike Scioscia handles the running game for his team. And managers and coaches are sneaky these days, Mario. And what I mean by that is Leland could be sitting there going through signs, but there could be somebody else there that's close to him that is doing something, hands in pocket, hands closed, whatever the case may be, that's really giving the sign to Gerald Laird, just so the opposing team can't steal signs. Sometimes you have to be tricky. There are some really good coaches out there that can really steal signs.
It's kind of like the 2 quarterbacks on the sidelines giving signals. Only one is hot. The other guy's just a decoy.
Yeah. I mean, so everybody's standing around him right now, and you couldn't really tell which one it is, but they're all doing something different. And whether it be Lamont or whether it be Belliard or whether it be Rick Knapp.
2-1 on Bobby Abreu. Bouncing ball, foul, first base side. Led by Alfredo Griffin.
He was a good shortstop. He played with a lot of energy, too. I played with him a couple of years down in Dominican Republic. San Pedro de Macorís, the shortstop hotbed for Dominican players. And he was a good one. Already established as a major league player. But he played winter ball just about every single day, and he played it at 100%.
Runner back.
It's a teammate of Mike Scioscia's when they played with the Dodgers, along with Ron Renick, his bench coach, and his hitting coach, Mickey Hatcher. They all spent time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And boy, were the Dodgers good.
Runner goes. Here comes the throw, the tag, and Figgins is out. What a throw by Laird.
Well, we pointed out the fact that Laird has thrown better than any catcher in the American League this year. And when you throw out Figgins on a ball down where he got this ball off the carpet, take a look at the feet. The feet are what does it here. He turns that shoulder toward the target and fires a strike to Santiago, and he applies the tag. Figgins has got speed to burn as well.
Only the 5th time Figgins has been thrown out with his 21 steals this year. That's a big one. Here's a one-hopper hit to second, and Polanco will throw out Abreu. 2 gone.
That is big. Let's take one more look at the footwork here of Laird as he grabs this ball off the carpet, shifting his weight, getting the arm up into the throwing position ever so quickly. And that's how you throw out a guy like Figgins. He took very little time getting that ball from the glove to the throwing hand and on its way to second base.
Here's Guerrero hacking away, 0-1.
Yeah, what new with Vladdy?
He is 0 for 2. Guerrero is one of those throwbacks. Doesn't wear any batting gloves. What he typically does is takes a lot of that pine tar that is now covering his entire helmet. And gets a good grip on the bat. Doesn't like the batting gloves. Fouled straight back.
I bet his hands are like sandpaper.
They have to be. They have to be.
All those swings that he takes with no batting gloves.
All calloused up.
Lou Whitaker used to start out spring training taking batting practice with no batting gloves, but he wore batting gloves once the season started. But that was Lou Whitaker's way of toughening up his hands during spring training.
The 0-2. Wouldn't chase that breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Vlad Guerrero.
Me, I could never do anything like that.
No?
Couldn't do it.
You had to have the gloves, huh?
Had to have them on.
Was it a feel thing?
I wish I could say that.
Right in front of the plate, Laird is going to get him. So Gerald Laird not only throws out Guerrero, but here's the big play. Gunning down Figgins. Perfect throw.
take you back early in this ball game. Tom Hallion behind the plate and a foul ball right off the mask. Ugh, that hurts. Of course, Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light. We're mean.
You find that funny?
We're mean.
Hallion's long since shaken that one off.
Yeah, he has.
Hey, Munising is here. The Yoopers are in town.
They love their Tigers baseball up there.
Hey, we've got a wall-side windows pitching change. Jason Bulger is on now for the Angels.
Yeah, 21st game now that Jason has been in. Comes in with a 2-1 record. Numbers are not bad at all. 20 strikeouts, 9 walks, and 22 innings pitched.
So Escobar goes 5 innings. They get him out of the game, and now we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of an Angels bullpen, which has been dead last in the American League. It's high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And while I have a quick second, I'd love to thank the people up in Independence Township in Clarkston.
Oh yeah, how'd that go today?
For allowing me to throw out the first pitch today. It went well. I didn't bounce it, which is big. I was a little nervous, but I didn't bounce it.
You knew you weren't going to bounce it.
But it was great. Seeing 80 teams. They had 80 Little League teams, softball teams, coach pitch teams, and it was opening day for their season up there in Clarkston, and it was enjoyable. The folks treated me really good up there. It's quite an event, really. They say even people that don't have kids still come out for the event.
Really?
Yes.
What happened there?
I don't know, but Socha's saying go check him.
Wow. Bulger missed by a wide margin. You okay, says Napoli?
Well, my wild pitch, my first pitch was a little better than this one. That I threw out today.
Did you take it easy on the little guy that had to catch you?
No, because
I let
it fly with a little guy. And I'm thinking to myself, he's small, but I'm not going to bounce it, so he better be ready. He caught it.
You wouldn't want to be embarrassed, even if you have to hurt the kid.
He caught it. He caught it.
Well, apparently Bulger's okay. Just a misfire there.
Yeah, Socha probably had never seen Bulger do anything like that.
Socha's thinking, what'd he say? Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, says everything's all right.
Socha is very much in charge, isn't he?
He sure is. Oh, another direct hit for the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion.
Where's X-Mo?
Oh,
no.
Man, now don't do that to him again.
We just had him.
I don't think this one caught him in the mask, though. Let's see.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that got him in the right shoulder, arm. That hurts.
I'm not sure he had any padding there.
It's going to leave a pretty nice mark.
Kevin Rand is out there to make sure he's in one piece.
Yeah, when you see the trainer go out, you know that it's somewhat serious.
So as they tend to Tom Hallion, we remind you that after the final pitch, stay tuned for Tigers Live with exclusive post-game comments from the skipper Jim Leland, highlights from the game, and a preview of upcoming action. Tigers Live presented by your local Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge dealers immediately after the game, and it's right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hallion apparently says, I'm all right. Kevin Rand will depart. Still feeling it, though. Lloyd giving him the business?
I don't know what Lloyd's doing.
A little smile on his face for Hallion, who apparently is okay. And that's the good news. That's the second shot he has taken tonight. 2-2 on Brandon Inge. Larish and Laird to follow. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there from Bulger, and Inge is out of there. One out. We are at Comerica Park here in downtown Detroit with the Tigers on top of the Los Angeles Angels 2-1. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, Brady Klima, our producer, Brian Moss, our director tonight, and it's been another close one between these two teams.
Well, the Angels play lots of close games, typically, because they're always putting pressure on you. They play lots of 1- and 2-run games. As a matter of fact, they did a ton of that last year. They haven't been as fortunate this year because their bullpen has not been intact, but the way their starting rotation is starting to come together with their offense and their starting pitching, they're going to be okay.
1-1 on Larish. He's 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout. Bulger replacing Escobar. He was the Angels' top reliever in the month of May. 0.71 ERA last month.
Not too bad for Escobar, making his first start since September of 07. And just to come in here and give up a couple of runs and had a pretty good fastball, they had to be pleased with that.
That's a fair ball for Larish. Into the corner it goes. He'll hit the bag and go to second. Larish pulls in with a double with 1 out.
That's good to see. Looked like Jeff Mann went down and got himself a pretty good pitch that he hooked right past Morales.
Third double of the year for Larish, and now the Tigers with a man in scoring position here for Gerald Laird. Tigers have their 5th hit of the evening. Laird is 1 for 2. Ball 1. Bulger is a native of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Attended Valdosta State University. The 1-0. He had Laird buckled there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside again, 2-1 the count.
Well, even though he threw you a breaking ball for a strike on the 1-0 pitch, if you're Laird, you still have to look for your fastball in this situation. And if Bulger's fortunate enough to thread the needle with another strike, then you do what you do.
2-2. How about this for an athletic family? Bulger was drafted in 2001, and his brothers were also drafted later in that 01 draft. So 3 brothers in the same draft. His brothers Brian and Kevin were selected by the Giants. 2-2 pitch. On the ground left side. Figgins with a scoop off to his left. That ball gets by him. It's trouble. Larish will hold up. 2 gone.
I did not know that Figgins was as good a defender as the Angels people were telling me yesterday, but they say he's got some real good hands over there, very athletic with his feet, as we well know, with his speed, and there's some nifty glove work here. And they also say he's got a plus arm at that position. Oh, look what I found. He must have peeked at that one out of the corner of his eye, partner, to get it in his glove.
Whatever it takes. Here's Santiago. Tigers got to get this run in here. They lead by 1, and they've led by 1 since the first inning. Yet they had a man on in the 2nd, 2 men on in the 3rd, 2 men on in the 5th. 0-1 on Santiago. Ramon is 0 for 2. Same two teams tomorrow. They wrap it up. Day baseball here. And the Tigers will then hit the road tomorrow. It's Porcello and Joe Saunders. Between them, 12 victories. That is pulled foul. By the middle of next week, we're probably going to be sick of seeing the White Sox. That has turned into a 5-game series with that doubleheader coming up on Monday.
Well, this much we do know. When the Tigers do get into Chicago on Monday, they're going to have to fare a little bit better than they have in the past.
It has not been a good place for the Tigers, that's for sure. They want that guy to be healthy once they get there. Cabrera, he's not playing tonight. He can pinch hit if they need him again. And he was able to pinch hit last night. Miguel Cabrera nursing that hamstring.
I think it was a wise decision not to play him tonight after watching him grabbing that hamstring after every swung he took last night.
Swing and a miss by Santiago, and they will throw him out to complete the strikeout. So the Tigers get a double and they leave a man. We go to the 7th, 2-1.
Well, he gave up a run in the first inning after a single to Figgins and a double by Bobby Abreu. That put the Angels on the board first, but then he has gotten busy, and that slider has become just a tremendous pitch for him. Take a look at the depth on these pitches right here. Unbelievable, unhittable pitches, really. And if you're a hitter, that ball looks like a fastball coming out of his hand until you see that late movement on it. So Jackson as good tonight, Mario, as we have seen him the majority of the year.
Well, here's the Comerica game summary. Polanco, a couple of hits tonight. Jackson, 6 innings, 4 hits. Abreu, an RBI double. And it's all totaling up to a 1-run Tigers lead as we go to the 7th inning. And it's Torrey Hunter to lead it off.
His pitch count is in really good shape, too.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it really is. I mean, it's in the mid-70s right now as we play here in the 7th. He has some 1, 2, 3 innings early on in this game. Very quick innings. There's your pitch count. High fly ball, shallow left field. Josh Anderson is coming in to make the catch. 1 gone.
And what is Comcast saying about Jackson's speed ranges tonight? 97 a high, 78 a low, and everything in between.
Here's Kendry Morales. Ball 1. Morales has hit the ball on the ground twice to the right side, both times to Jeff Larish. On consecutive nights, the Tigers' starting pitching has slowed down the Angels' offense. Only 4 hits tonight for Los Angeles. There's Cleet Thomas to make the catch right at his knees. 2 gone. Here's Juan Rivera. Rivera's 0 for 2, couple of pop-ups. Came in batting .352 in his last 19 games. Bounces that one foul right at home plate. 0-1. There's that slider again from Jackson.
Well, I guess our pitchers have been on the prowl. And this is where they rank in the American League in these different categories. Top 1 or 2 in most of the important stats. What a difference a year makes.
And when you consider that the Tigers are doing this with a guy that wasn't even in their rotation last year and a rookie that is 20 years old, it's pretty impressive for the starters at least. And Verlander coming off his worst year and has turned it around marvelously this year. Rick Porcello has given them a nice boost. The 0-2 got in on his hands into shallow center. Polanco is there, and a 1-2-3 inning. So Jackson still doing it. We'll go to the stretch. Anderson, Polanco, Thomas coming up. Score, not a whole lot of offense from either team tonight, and we do remind you to join us again tomorrow. Final game in this series against the Halos. Coverage begins just prior to the first pitch at 1 o'clock. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit and in high def on Fox Sports Detroit HD. And there is your pitching matchup, a good one tomorrow.
Look at these guys' numbers. They're just about identical.
They are actually almost exact. Saunders and Porcello tomorrow.
Saunders was an outstanding road pitcher last year for the Angels. As a matter of fact, he had the best earned run average of any pitcher in the American League, so he's not afraid to go into other people's ballparks. At least last year he was.
Well, here is the veteran Darren Oliver checking in now for the Angels.
He's having a good year. He's having a really good year. 15 strikeouts against 5 walks in 22 2/3 innings. And the earned run average is not bad at all, just a shade above 3.
He's been in the big league since 1993 when he broke in with Texas. Well, it's the top of the order coming up now. Josh Anderson, Placido Polanco, and Cleet Thomas in a 2-1 game.
That is a long time.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. It's going to get through. Leadoff single for Josh Anderson.
And they brought him in to try to slow down a couple of the left-handers that the Tigers will run up there this inning. Anderson being one, Thomas being the other, if Thomas does not get pinch hit for. And nice job by Anderson getting a base hit.
Josh 10 for 12 in the stolen base category.
I don't know. Normally this would be a bunting situation late in the game, trying to stretch the lead a little further. But with the left-hander in the on-deck circle, he's going to bunt.
He's going to move the runner up as Morales tags out Polanco.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say, with the left-handed Thomas coming up, a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher, Jim may allow Polanco to swing. But then again, Polanco's not hitting where he normally is hitting as far as the batting average is concerned. And so Jim may have thought, let's go ahead and sacrifice here and get a runner in scoring position.
So lefty here. Thomas has struck out twice tonight. He's also walked and scored. Oh, and 1. Clete Thomas hitless in his last 17 at bats. Big knock here could extend the Tigers' lead, especially with the speed of Anderson. He's trying to lay down a bunt. Good one. Figgins will have no shot. A bunt hit for Clete Thomas, and the Tigers have him at the corners.
That's such a clutch play by Clete. And knowing that he is 0 for 17, he's going up against a left-hander. Figgins was playing in deep. All he needed to do was get it down. He took his time, and he got it where he needed to get it, and he got it past Oliver, and there was no play for Figgins. That is just good, smart, heads-up baseball by Thomas.
Figgins had stopped for the moment, thinking Oliver might get it, but even when he got to it, he had no chance. Now Ordonez has a chance to pad this Tigers lead. Maglio's had a hit and an RBI tonight. The Hitchman fouled on the first base line. Right behind Van Slyke. Maglio 21 RBIs. Anderson started this inning with a base hit. He's standing at third now with 1 out. Good numbers against Oliver. 5 for 11.
I've been meaning to ask Socha why he plays his first baseman where he does when left-handers are on the mound. By any chance, have you ever asked him that question?
Well, he's done it a lot. And one of the things he likes is to cut down that angle down the first base line. That's rolled to third. They're going to score the run, perhaps. There's one. Nope, double play. A big double play. Figgins had to come in on that ball, and Maglio bounces into the 2. And they are unable to score. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Get some runs, but a double play ball ends the inning, so we go to the 8th in a 2-1 game, and Edwin Jackson just continues to roll along. Hasn't walked anybody tonight, and just 1 run through 7, and that run that he gave up was 2 batters into the game, a single and a double, and nothing after that.
Well, ends in both layers from the corners in the infield. They also need to be ready for a bunt with this tourist in the batter's box. It's getting late, and guys that play small ball, they try to get on any way they can. And if you give them a little bit too much room, a guy like this tourist can get the ball down and bunt successfully for a base hit.
Foul back toward the seats and out of play. Well, on Thursday in Toronto, it was Howie Kendrick that laid down a drag bunt to lead off the 9th inning in a tie game, and that eventually turned out to be the winning run.
Take a look at Inge once he gets into his ready position down there at third base. He's ready to charge.
This might be trouble. Polanco getting back there, and he'll run it down. His Turris is out, 1 away. 6 in a row now set down by Edwin Jackson.
And what if Jackson with this next hitter, Napoli? He's got some pop. We've talked about the fact he's got 8 home runs, and he's got really good power. And you got to make him hit the ball to center field. Do not give him anything that he could hit to the left, where the majority of his power works. You've got to utilize the big part of the baseball field, which is straightaway center field, 420 feet from home plate.
Popped up. See if it stays in play. Parrish cruising over toward the tarp, battling it, and he makes the catch. He was drifting on him.
Parrish has not played a whole lot of first base here at Comerica Park, so anything that goes up into foul territory, you're trying to get over there. You've got a little wind up there as well. You're trying to figure out how close you are to that that tarp, but he still made the play.
Jackson, by the way, has pitched 7 or more innings in 7 of his 12 starts this year. Ball outside to Howie Kendrick.
Jackson is going to finish this bad boy today if he gets Kendrick out here. I'd be shocked if he didn't go back out for the 9th.
I would agree with that. He's at, what, 89 right now, 89 pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Leland stretched him all the way up to 132. 1 start this year. That's pitches thrown.
Well, he's been an absolute workhorse for Detroit. 8 innings in his last start against the Orioles. Checked it. Did not go 3-1. Jackson came into the start trailing only Verlander in innings pitched on the Tigers staff.
Both guys have been tremendous. I know Mike Scioscia after last night's game said in 1 week while his team has been on the road, they've seen Halladay and they've also seen Verlander, and both pitchers are pitching better than anybody on the planet. He may have to add Edwin Jackson onto that list as well.
Yeah, the numbers indicate that you might have to. Big 3-2 pitch here with 2 outs, and it's fouled away.
Slider.
And we left it up, ball 4. Tying run is on. That is the first walk for Jackson. Here's our player of the game voting. Polanco leading the way right now over Edwin Jackson. Maglio Ordonez 3rd on that list. Final results on Tigers Live. So the tying run on here with the Angels batting in the 8th inning, and Jackson gets a brief visit from Laird. They will attack Sean Figgins now. Figgins 2 for 3. Batting .308. Ground ball scooped by Laird Larish at first base, and a nice backhand to retire the side. Jackson through 8. Granderson, Inge, Larish coming up. .49. And by Beaumont Hospitals. Do you have a Beaumont doctor? On our way to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Comerica Park. Another tight one tonight between these two teams. And the Tigers have Curtis Granderson leading it off, facing the left-hander Darren Oliver. What more can you say about Edwin Jackson tonight? 1 run on 4 hits through 8 innings.
He's been special.
Granderson looks at a ball outside, 1-1. Inge and then Larish to follow. Back out of play, 1-2 on Curtis. 9-game hit streak on the line here. He is 0 for 1. He has a sac fly and a walk. He has also stolen a base. And he tipped it into the glove for strike 3. 1 gone. First strikeout for Darren Oliver. Bring up Brandon Inge. Inge 0 for 2 with a walk. No, it's not going to be easy for the Tigers in the 9th. They're going to have 2, 3, and 4. Abreu, Guerrero, and Hunter, their best hitters. No balls, 2 strikes on Brandon. Here's the 0-2 pitch to center field, base hit. An 0-2 single to center for Brandon Inge.
Oliver probably got a little bit too much plate there, but you've got to give Inge some credit as well, because he stayed back on a breaking ball that was down and just took a nice easy swing.
Tigers have their 8th hit on the board. Is that a Rod Allen jersey?
I don't know if that's a Rod Allen jersey or not. It has Allen on the back, but I don't know if it's mine or not.
I think it's Marcus Allen. It's got to be Rod. It looks like a 12.
It sure does. I have some fans out there. How about that?
I think you should go down there right now and sign it.
Kind of makes you feel good. See somebody wearing your jersey.
1 ball and 1 strike on Jeff Larish. Oh, these guys are working.
Yeah, they are. I appreciate them too. That's something else. Where we see another one? San Diego? A couple of years ago?
Last year, wasn't it? Yeah, we were in San Diego last year.
Can we go there again?
I'd love to. We need to add them to the American League Central.
Goodness gracious. I thank our fine cameramen here at Comerica Park for finding that number 12 jersey.
The 2-1. Bender that's in there. 2-2 on Jeff Larish. Jeff had a double back in the 6th inning with 1 out. Tigers couldn't score him, though. They had runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out in the 7th, and then a double play into that inning.
It was good to see him get that base hit because he really's been going through it himself for the better part of a week now. And scuffling from an offensive standpoint. Also, Cleet Thomas got a nice bunt base hit last half inning. It's good. Lloyd McClendon putting in a lot of work these days.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Runner was on the move, and an easy out at second base. Inge is called out. Strike him out, throw him out. And the inning is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Oliver. Abreu, Guerrero, Hunter coming up. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 3 more outs to go, and it's going to be Edwin Jackson's ball game here. Abreu, Guerrero, and Hunter here in the 9th inning for the Angels in a 2-1 game, and it's been 2-1 since the 1st inning tonight. And Jackson has been spectacular again. Here's Abreu. He doubled and scored their only run back in the 1st. His double scored that run. Fly ball and a ground out his other 2 times. And he takes strike 1. The 9th inning is underway.
Still throwing hard. That fastball 94. And he can reach back and get a little bit more than that if he wants to. Change pace.
Nice one. 0-2.
That ball came out of his hand nicely. Take a look at this. I mean, that came out of his hands nice.
Here's the 0-2. Ooh, just off the outside corner. There's the extra that he has in the tanks.
Yeah, I knew he had some. He had some.
His last 2 starts. That Baltimore start went 8 innings,
2 walks.
And the 1-2 inside, up and in at 98. 2-2 on Bobby Abreu.
Hardest pitch he's thrown all night, and he saved it for the 9th inning. That's a horse.
Got him, strike 3. Abreu is punched out of there.
That looked pretty good to me. We'll take a look at a replay, but that looked like a pretty good pitch.
I would say so.
I still think so.
Here's Guerrero. 0-1.
Well, same thing applies for Vladimir Guerrero that I was talking about last half inning with Napoli, their catcher that has some power. And make him hit the ball to straightaway center field. Biggest part of the ballpark.
0 for 3 in this game. 0-2.
Jackson coming out here in the 9th, breathing fire.
Fans getting into it now, 32,000 plus. The 0-2. Got him at 99.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
2 gone. This is amazing.
Are you kidding me? Look at the little peeps.
Now 2 outs for Torrey Hunter. And a strike 0-1.
Oh, my goodness.
Crowd's in a roar right now. 32,367.
He is all hard stuff.
Hunter has a double in 3 at bats. He laid it right in there at 98, and it's 1-2.
How about him saving all this easy gas until the 9th inning?
He had it stored up in the spare tank. 1 more strike to get. He's just alive. Laird unable to hang on to it. And Hunter is still alive.
That bit him pretty good, too.
Right in the leg.
Stomach. Guy.
Only 4 hits allowed tonight by Edwin Jackson. He's walked only 1. And he is ahead now, 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That is out number 3. And the Tigers win game 2 in the series behind a spectacular effort from the horse, Edwin Jackson.
Just when